Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your interest in the district tennis tournaments. We look forward to hosting the 1, 2, and 3A district tournaments. This year, we'll be going to Arlington Tennis Center. That was a kind of return from last year. We had the 3As there last year. And we'll also be returning to HEB Tennis Center in Kerrville. We look forward to both of those sites, and we thank both of them for hosting our 3 days of tournaments. Will, if you'll bounce us over to the TAPS website real quick, we're going to go to the TAPS, www.taps.biz, click on Athletics. When you click on the tennis page, you'll see the district tennis, 1, 2, and 3A. Click on that little box right there, and that will take you to your individual information pages. So please feel free to look at that often as you need to. Taps.biz, tennis page, district tennis pages. Click on the one that's appropriate to you. On that tennis page, we'll have the seating information. It will also have the brackets as we get a little closer to playing dates. Robert, talk to us a little bit about the entries and the entry procedures for this year.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Entries will be made in rank 1, so make sure that all of your players are in rank 1. Make sure that you have them on a tennis roster, that you've completed all the forms and information they need to be green in rank 1. If you have any questions or struggles with that, reach out to our office. We'll always assist with that. But they need to be in rank 1, and they need to be eligible, so then you can pull them over into that entry form. The entry information is outlined for you there. Each school is allowed 2 entries in the singles and 2 entries in the doubles per draw. That's boys and girls. So you could have 2 boys singles, 2 girls singles, etc., etc. A single alternate can be named for both doubles teams. So if you have 2 doubles teams, you could have one alternate listed. That alternate could serve and substitute in for either of those doubles teams. All entries must be made prior to the deadline. Our deadline this year is March 21st. March 21st is our deadline. So please make sure you get your entries in. And then the last thing that's critically important is seating information. All seating information must be entered on the entry form prior to the entry deadline. So as you go on and do your entries, you'll see there's a place there, a little text box where you can type in some seating information. Brian will go over that in more detail here in just a second. But as you do your entries, remember you're going to do your entries and then you're also going to include your seating information. And the entry fee is $35 per player, no charge for the alternates. But just keep that in mind as you get your preparations, get your checks ready and things that you have to do at the school level to bring those to the tournament. Substitutions will be allowed in the doubles, okay? And they must be done prior to the beginning of the first match of those doubles teams. So if you have somebody that gets sick or gets injured, can't get there, or something happens last minute, they miss the bus, then you could make a substitution if you have that person on as an alternate. Just make sure to find us that morning at the TAPS desk so that we can get everything entered in correctly.
I think the biggest thing about substitutions, Roberts, is once play begins, substitutions are not allowed. So at that point, it would be a forfeiture if both were unable to compete and move forward. Quick change over to dress code. We're kind of putting the fun things up front. So get your entries in, get them in through rank 1 dress code. Just please make sure that we're not the dress code police. So dress code must be appropriate. Make sure that standard tennis shorts, etc., are worn. Spandex are similar. Leggings must have modesty shorts, all the things that we've had for the past couple of years. So go back through, look at what it is. If it's a racerback, it's allowed as long as it meets your community standards. Robert said earlier we're going to talk about seating. So basically, seating information is extremely important in the development of the brackets. And as you look through there, any and all seating information helps. If you have head-to-head, if you have tournaments they've played in this year, if they have a USTA ranking, if they have a UTR, Universal Tennis Rating, please make sure anything that you can give us on that is extremely important. If they advanced in the state championships last year, if they were district champion last year, anything you can have to help us separate in the field. If we get no seating information, and to be honest, that's the majority of the players will have no seating information, you don't leave us with a lot of hope going into the bracket other than flipping a coin on which side you get and whether you're the A or the B. Also, when you're putting your entries in, it's critical that you tell us who is your A player and who is your B player. So that is on the tennis instructions. Will, do me a favor and bounce back over to that tennis page for districts. And up there you'll see seating information. and then there should be a listing of how to get to rank 1 in there as well. So please make sure as you walk through there that you get the seating information, get it into rank 1 so that when we pull it over, we've got it. All right, going back to the brackets, we are looking at a 16-team bracket. If we have to add, we'll add a bottom foot or two as we go forward. Bracket development will be done by the TAPS office, including all seating review. We will post it. We will have a front side and a back side of the draw. Playback, if necessary, will be the consolation champion versus the last qualifying position. So if you have a 16-team bracket, that means someone playing all the way back through the backside and being the consolation champion would challenge 8th place for the right to go to the TAPS Tennis Championship. So brackets, we'll do the best we can based on the seating information we have to make it go forward. Robert, talk to us just a minute about the tournament schedule, the dates and the times, and how you see that playing out.
Okay, so for our tournament in the North, we're going to, as Brian mentioned, be at the Arlington Tennis Center. We were there last year for 3A. Had a little rain, shortened our day, but it's a great facility. We look forward to having all 3 of our classifications, 1, 2, and 3A, at the Arlington Tennis Center. South will be at the Kerrville HEB Tennis Center. Been there several times, a great facility. They do a great job for us there. When is your respective tournament going to be? If you are 1A, yours will be on March 31st. If you're 2A, you'll be on March 30th, and if you're 3A, you'll be on March 29th. We'll be there all 3 days with smiling faces and encouragement for all of our players, but in the North, we'll be at the Arlington Tennis Center. In the South, we'll be at Kerrville. Our facilities will open at 7:30 each morning. You can certainly get there a few minutes early, but our facilities will not be open for teams to come in and start setting up until exactly at 7:30. Please help us with that in honoring our host facilities as they are making accommodations for us to be there that early. And then our first matches will kick off sharply at 8:30.
If we do have to postpone, we'll be using the TAPS Biz Tennis account. We'll get that information out to you in an email prior to the meet, but if rain does force a later or delayed open, we will definitely post that not only on the webpage but also through our social media channels. Your tournament schedule, we will have to share courts for warm-ups. Make sure that we give everybody an equal opportunity. Once you get into the matches, it should be no more than 10 minutes for your warm-up. Usually they're ready to go, but please make sure we keep to that so we can keep on schedule. As you look at the draws, boys singles, boys doubles, girls singles, girls doubles, and the order will be based on the number of teams, so we won't know that until we get a little closer to which draw will go first. Both sets of facilities, HEB and Arlington, have 12 courts at our disposal, so hopefully we'll be able to keep a couple in reserve for warm-up. Again, they will be shared warm-ups. Robert, as we talk about going towards the tournaments, we still got COVID out there, but tell us a little bit more about health and safety.
So with regard to health and safety, we will, as at all of our hosted events, we will have a trainer on site. We'll have an athletic trainer there provided to us by Children's Health Andrews Institute. Be there available all 3 days. If your players need any assistance, they'll be there to assist as well. And we will continue our protocols as we've had the last 2 years. Coaches, when you come check in, you'll have a packet of information that you'll be given. One of those forms will be a COVID affirmation form, so you will be attesting that all of your coaches, players, and team personnel are healthy and good to go COVID-wise for our event that day. Brian, moving on to officials.
As we look at the officials, they will be USTA certified. Kevin's done us a good job. We will have a roving official each day. Again, as we go to what officiating is, it is a roving. It's one person looking at 12 courts. They will be USTA certified. The officials shall assist with tiebreakers if necessary. They will inform players of violations that they see while they're walking around, and they will help to settle any point disputes if necessary. However, the officials shall not be on one court calling lines or one calling foot faults or service errors. If that continues, then we will get both coaches from the 2 teams involved to show up at that court, and they will assist with line calling. So, again, some of the gamesmanship that we all know is part of tennis will go away when both coaches are standing there, because obviously if you're standing there calling lines for your players, you won't be coaching the other players. So, again, USTA official will be on site both days. We'll also have Children's Health Andrews Institute trainers on site both days, so we've got the officiating covered and we've got the injury situation covered. From each draw, the top 8 will advance to the state tennis championship, so the top 8, and we will award medals to the top 4 in each draw. Top 3 teams will also be awarded, so we will be crowning district champions, we will, both individually and team-wise, as we move forward as we have in the past. Robert, talk to us just a little bit about team scoring so that they understand that every point in every match counts.
So with regard to team scoring, and this is what we use to make our team awards, what you need to know is every match that played has value, including a bye. So if there's a bye in a particular round, that's a match that you basically get points for. And on the front side of the draw, there's 1 point for each match played. So each player in that match will receive a point. The winner will receive 1.5 points. And then looking at the back side of the draw, there's 1 point again for each match, with a half a point because we're on the back side draw being awarded for the player that wins that particular match. So we tabulate that throughout the day. We've got a little spreadsheet on our computer that we use, and as the matches come in, we log those in there and we keep a running total of that. Many times it does take until those last 1 or 2 matches to determine the team awards, but we usually are able to get those done about the time everybody finishes up and hand those out as you leave the facility.
So we look forward to 3 great days of district tennis. We're starting with 3A, 2A, and then 1A. If rain forces, we would stay that next day. We're hoping that stays away or that we're able to play through or work around. Again, suspended matches, we've got a plan in place for how to handle that. We've done this before. We're looking forward to doing it again, and we're looking forward in a couple of weeks to being there at Kerrville and Arlington. If you have questions, please reach out to us at info, I-N-F-O, at taps.biz, or give us a call, 254-947-9268. Be as specific as you can with your questions so that we can help work you through. As you do your entries, again, make sure that you get them into rank 1. Make sure you have your A player is your best, your B player is your next best, and make sure you have all the seating information that you have at your disposal so that we'll have it at our disposal when we sit down to go through the draws. Again, we appreciate you joining us for today's conversation. We look forward to 2 weeks from now. We'll be in Kerrville and Arlington determining the state qualifiers. Thank you again for joining us, and thank you for supporting TAPS Tennis.